video about changing the torque converter, that thing, on a 2016 Dodge Caravan. I'm doing it at home because everybody wants pretty much north of $1,000 to do it, and I don't see it being worth that much money for something that you can pretty much grind out at home. This is all the suspension parts that I had to take off. There's your battery box, your front axle driver side, front axle passenger side, brakes. This is some sort of some sort of with emissions control. Just took it off to get hold of the bolts on the other side of it. It's just a bracket and a mount and an electrical connector, but you're not getting to the bolts underneath of it and behind it unless you take it off. And then that's the front motor mount. The starter I just unbolted and left lay next to the engine, so the starter's still in there. And to get the front passenger side intermediate shaft out, this here is actually blocked by the power steering pump. There's a heat shield. I know some people have said, how do you get it out? How do you get it out? Well, there's 3 bolts that hold the heat shield in place. So you just loosen all 3 of it. You take the 2 bottom bolts out, you leave the top bolt in, and then you can pretty much move it off to the side and bend it out of the way, because this part here is going to hit it. So you got to kind of work it out. But you do need to get this intermediate shaft out, because on the transmission, when the I don't know what the hell it's called, but there's where this goes into, there's a bolt right above it that keeps the transmission and engine together, and then there's a bolt on the other side of it, up top of it, to keep it onto the motor mount. So this shaft has to come out, no way of getting around it. And don't take your power steering pump out. If there should be just a heat shield on the 2014s that you can take the 3 bolts out, move it out the way, bend it out the way, and then pull it right out. Like I said, we're white trash in the mile. Oh, come here. Oh, he's after a lizard. He wants the lizard. Get over here. But as you can see, I'm up on jacks, white trash style. I am not high enough to get this out of here. You can see I'm up on the 3rd notch on these yellow Harbor Freight ones, and what's killing me is that it's not flat. I'm on an incline, but I'm really just doing the torque converter. So if I can just wiggle this thing out to get to the torque converter, take the old one out, put the new one in, that's all I'm really worried about. So like it says, right now I can get underneath this, I can work underneath of it, but I would need at least another. If you take that mount off, which that mount comes off with, there's 2 bolts here, there's a bolt on the other side, but you're not going to get it out. I mean, you could without taking the subframe out. I guess normally you drop it straight out, or if you're high enough you can take it out the front. I was hoping to sneak it out through this wheel arch here, but it's just too tall for my needs. I'm just going to twist it around and slap the new torque converter on, clean it up a little bit, and then start bolting everything back together. Right back there you can see that protrusion. That's where the bolts are, and you can't see it from here, but there's a bolt this bolt right there. You have to take that shaft out to get to it. And there's another one on the motor mount, which you can't see because the motor mount fell down, but there's the one on the motor mount. I don't think I'll be able to get to it. Yeah, you can see it right there. Let me see, where's it at on the camera. It's that very one right at the tip of my finger, if you can see it. If not, oh well, I only got 2 hands. I don't have a cracked flex plate. My dowel pins seem like they're in good shape. No leaks, no nothing else. You can see down there. You can see where the I don't know what the name of this part is right here. This is your shifter, but right here, that's the thing that's sticking out, and you can see how close you are to the subframe. So I have plenty of room to bring it forward. And like I said, all I'm doing is I just got to wiggle out the torque converter and wiggle a new one back in and start all this back up. This has been over 3 days, mainly because I'm farting around. I'm just working 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I'm positive if you can get this thing up in the air high enough, you will need a transmission jack. That thing's like 400 pounds. The Harbor Freight one, this is not the low profile. I'm still up about a good 7-8 inches. Even with the low profile, it's not the height that gets you from the side, it's the width. And like I said, I'm not really going to try to wiggle it out if I don't have to. But this is the $120 one, works fine. You need it. There's no way you're going to hold that up. That thing's, like I said, that's like 400 pounds. On the engine, I have a bottle jack holding it up to keep everything from falling out, because right now the engine's only held on by the front, or the passenger side motor mount, because you took the other one off. So I'll take you a look underneath here. I mean, you can see the engine's obviously there, but underneath we got a bottle jack and a block of wood, and then that's a torque converter. Like I said, I'm halfway out already. I just need to wiggle this thing around. I might have to take some plastic off to get some more space, but I really don't want to jack the car up anymore. Like I say, if you look in the back, you can see those ones are all the way up on there. And I have more space in the back because we got a pretty good pitch on this driveway here. But that's all it is. Not exceedingly hard. You don't have to take off any subframe crap. You don't have to undo your ball joints or anything like that. The only way you're getting out through the wheel well is if you're taking off if you're high enough and you take off the subframe, because that gap is not wide enough. And again, you can see coming from the front here, I mean, I don't have half the transmission up, and there's no way you're manhandling that. Like I said, that's 400 pounds. But yeah, that's where we're at now. So we're just gonna replace that. I got a whole bunch of codes. I was initially getting shutters, and then I got the dreaded P740, I think it is. And then after that, I started getting all kinds of weird crap. My transmission fluid is clean. I've already changed it once, hoping to fix it. But then I drained it when I started working on this, and it was still fairly clean. The magnet wasn't very dirty, but the car has 160,000 miles on it. And when I got it, maintenance was lacking. I bought it at 130. I put about 30 on it. And I mean, the transmission started acting up last year, but I just never got around to it. But now we're doing it. So putting it back together should be much quicker. I am dreading trying to line everything up because it's just me and a transmission jack from Harbor Freight. This is your subframe. Evidently no one knows how to take this bolt off here, so most people just swivel it around and then tighten it back up. Wearing the gloves, like I said, there's a lot of sharp protuberances, so you're going to get tore up. My goal here is I actually ordered 2 new struts because my struts were shot. One of them was actually damaged, but they didn't come in today. So I was hoping to get everything lined up for tomorrow, but it ain't gonna happen. Then I gotta call the alignment shop, telling them that I'm not gonna be there tomorrow. I'm not gonna pay for alignment and then have to take the struts off. So that's it. Like I said, Harbor Freight jack, Harbor Freight tools, lots of sweat, but that's as far as down you're gonna get it. Those jacks are probably high enough to go up. If you look down at the bottom of that white, you can see the bottom. You can see in the triangle there, you see that hole? That's the bottom of the lift portion. So I'm only up 2 notches. I think it goes up another 18 inches. So if I wanted to and I had enough, I could crank this thing up probably a good 2-3 feet in the air. But I don't need to. It's a lot of jacking, and I'm not going to go out and buy $300 worth of jacks to just jack it up and then have to rig it. For the 2014s, you do not have to take off the exhaust cross pipe or undermount or whatever that's called. On the earlier models, the exhaust actually crossed right where the 2 met. Well, evidently they did something smart and they moved it forward now, so you can take the transmission off without having to undo anything on the exhaust. Again, here's that bolt that no one seems to know how to get rid of. I'm not taking it off. I'm just going to snug it back up again. But that's it. So there's your torque converter. I just got to wiggle it out, wiggle a new one in, and then start bolting stuff back together. So like I said, I probably have all told maybe about 10 hours into this, maybe a little bit more. It's just over 3 days. I'm farting around. I mean, I play with the dog, get something to drink, watch TV. I'm off for a week, so I really don't care how long it takes. But I mean, gun to my head, I could probably do this in a day. Now that I know how to do it and what to look for, you know, not having to go back, watch videos, look up information, I could do this. I could get it down in a day and probably another day to get it back up. So it's something definitely you can do in your driveway. It's just a matter of if you want to get it out from underneath your vehicle, then you're just going to have to plan ahead to get it high enough in the air. That's really the only thing I didn't care about because I don't need it. But that's it. Torque converter. Some of the prices. This I got from Rock Auto. It's $167 with a $100 core charge, $19 shipping. So this came to me for less than $300. You can't find one locally for less than $350. One place was selling them for like $270 something with a $20 core charge. This has a $100 core charge. So it cost me $260 to get it delivered. I'm going to send it back. I'm going to lose about $20 in shipping. I'm going to get $80 back, so it's still under $250 or so. Or no, $160. So out of I paid $260. I'm going to get about $80 back when I ship it back. So like I said, this is well under $200 for a torque converter. I already did prime it. Finding ATF4 is a bitch. I really don't want to spend on the Valvoline stuff, so I've been going to Walmart and snapping up all their Super Tech. Their online order, you can order one, but you can't order more than one. If you put 5 in your cart and ask them to deliver it, they're like, nope, ain't gonna do it. So you got to find one in stock. These are $6. Valvoline is $9. Since I had just changed, and I have less than 2,000 miles on the oil that was in the car, I basically put the old ATF or the ATF that was in there into these jugs here, and that's what I'm going to put back in the vehicle. Like I said, this truck has 170,000 miles on it. Reusing 2-month-old or less than 2-month-old transmission oil would have had a clean pan. I'm not worried about it. I mean, the filter even looked good. The filter was changed in June, trying to correct the problem with the shuttering, and so the shuttering did kind of go away. But then I tried the stop shutter, the $12 additive, and that basically just made it all worse. So I mean, that does have the stop shutter in it. You know, maybe it's worth it to spend the money to, you know, do all clean fluid and not put that stop shutter back in. But like I said, I don't know. I'll see when I put everything back together. We'll see where we're at. But my plan is to just reuse that. There's nothing wrong with it. The struts on this vehicle from Rock Auto were $82. So two struts, and they were complete. They were the shock, the upper mount, the bungee stop, the spring, everything. Basically a whole new strut tower. I mean, including your mount here and all of this, the spring, the coupler, whatever this, the cover, everything brand new was $82. Locally, the cheapest I could find was $216 each. So for less than the cost of one locally, I'm getting 2 brand new ones. And if you can't see, I got everything tied up here, but if you can see here, it's kind of hard to see, but the pop topped off here. See that? I got a little damage there. So this is not a strut anymore. It's just basically riding on a spring, and it vibrates like hell. I actually had a small accident, and I think what happened was it flexed the rod and popped off the top. I also bent my sway bar link. That's a new sway bar link. And then I had to get a new CV joint because the boot had ripped from age, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, this is basically going to be pretty much all rebuilt. I put a new hub on because the hub was shot. So this is a new hub. And then, you know, here's the new ABS line. Here's the new bracket for the ABS link. Put on new brakes, new rotors, and still rode like shit. And then when, like I said, just while I'm out here doing this, I saw that cap had popped off and it's top damaged. And you can see here there's oil coming down the side, so this shock's no good. And so I'm going to just change out the whole strut. You can see this is rusted. So for $80, just for $80 for one side, $160 for two, that's a steal. The only problem was they were supposed to be delivered today, but I got lied to. FedEx ground says it's on a 2-day delay. And up top here, not a lot of connections you got to worry about. This big harness is in the way. Try not to mess with that too much because it does go into your main harness. I mean, it does go into your main transmission harness, and when you put the strap around it, be very careful because right here is one of your sensors, and when I originally strapped it around here, it was like right on top of that. There's two sensors on the back. Those are your transmission speed sensors, and there's this here, I don't know what it does, but there's two sensors on the back, on the front, and then you got the big cannon plug up front here. So when you wrap a strap around it, be careful you don't damage any of those. But that's it. So the Grand Caravan lives on, and this is where we're at now. So